Alright, what is up? It is Eyes of Apollo bringing you the Need for Speed 2015 review. Now, I'm about 3 days late on this because I had stuff to do, but I'm going to review it now even though I'm a little bit late to the show. Basically, I'll get into pretty much most of the aspects of the game and as soon as possible, so hopefully underneath 10 minutes or so. Anyways, here's the beginning of the review. So I'll do a quick little overview of the menu you have here. You get daily challenges, which earns you points. If you do, I think it's 15, that's trophy. You got a launch trailer with random tips and stuff for videos. Crew play, which I didn't unlock yet at that time, but you can play with your friends. Settings, of course. Now, an awesome thing is the cinematics in this game are pretty amazing. Besides that, though, of course, like every other game, cinematics make the game look way better. But this gave me so much hype in the beginning of the game. I was like, hell yeah! And then it kind of just, you know, melted away because they had all the problems in the beta of like the fuzzy type of screen filter on it, which they never took off. Controls were a problem. And I'll get to those later, but it was just kind of a mess. But in the beginning, you're just a huge douchebag because you roll up to the club and now you're blocking like 3 other cars as if you're something special, but you're new to the city. So I think that was kind of funny because you're like, hey, what up? And the EA thing's right there, so you know it's douchebaggy. So I'll get started with basically they do the very stereotypical and insanely cheesy introductions. Because they're like, oh, he's got a punching bag, so obviously this dude's like the muscle of the crew. And that would be Travis. But how they add... I always hated when they did this in Need for Speed games, when they put like real life and then they add these stupid fucking cars in the background. There's no game realistic enough, not even Drive Club, that could get those cars to make it seem realistic. And it's just... it's too cheesy. I don't know why they keep doing it. But I'll do a breakdown of what all the characters are trying to do for this game as your crew. Now, I wanted to just do the picture that was probably the best looking one for this, but I'll break it down for you from left to right, not counting Travis because he was in the thing earlier. They have that Frederick guy, but I don't know what he's doing in there. I don't know much about him. But here we go. Amy is the redhead. She's trying to impress Naka-san for the best build. So basically, she wants to build the best car. Frederick, go fuck himself. I don't know what he has to do. Manuel wants to impress Ken Block, so basically style, since Ken Block does like Gymkhana and stuff. Spike wants to impress Murahishi. I probably pronounced that wrong. For speed, so he's all about speed. And then Robin wants to impress Risky Devil, and that's basically outlaw, so like dangerous, escape from cops type thing. And I'll show you a picture of everybody and line them up with all the characters that are on the main title. So to sum it up, Travis wants to impress whatever Murahishi-san. Manuel wants to impress Ken Block. Amy wants to impress Naka-san. Spike wants to impress Magnus Walker. Robin wants to impress Risky Devil. So you understand who those people are. I'm not going to go into video about that, but that's basically the sum up of it, why all those things matter in this game. So, yeah. Alrighty, let's get to the actual mechanics of this game, though. I'm riding a Porsche. I don't exactly know what Porsche that is because I totally forgot. But this is basically the core of the game. If you ever played as a child, if you ever had one of those friends that had those slot cars, those little things you would have like a remote for, and they would go on a track and you'd put something in the middle of it and they could only stay on the track. But depending on how fast you pulled the trigger, they could fly off the road or not. That's basically what this game is. For the sprint tracks. I actually wanted to even put out a photo so you understand what I'm talking about, the slot cars. But that's exactly how this game feels like. When you're basically doing sprints, it feels like you're playing with a slot car. Or when you're going around a turn, you're almost hooked to the center of that little like, I don't know what you would call that, arrow path type thing. That's that blue arrow path. But yeah, it's... for the reviews that places gave it online in different sites, it's definitely in that like 7 to 6 range on this game. Like I said, customization, awesome. I'll get to that in 2 seconds, but it's not that well of a game. Drifting and customization, if that's all you want, definitely do it. Multiplayer isn't too awesome. I think it's about 6 to 8 players per map. I tried to do a car meet the other night, but it's very tough to get everybody in the same thing. Here's a small build I did for a Honda S2000, and that was pretty good, but I'll get more into it now. Alright, so here is the build. Basically, this is all the customization you can do. Compared to Forza, customization isn't as good, but for a PlayStation game, this probably has the best customization you can get in a PlayStation game at the moment. But even then, they are kind of restricted on some of the things you can do, and you have to wait a long time to unlock some of the more, like, I don't know, cool, I guess you would say, stuff. But it's pretty basic, but you can still be very unique with your decals and stuff, which I'll show you in a second. But here's just kind of a small overview of like things you can upgrade. But as you can see, it says buy restricted item. So some of the bumpers you can't have like fenders for. Sometimes you can't buy lights for these cars. And then the rims are one of the things that kind of pissed me off, is because you have to buy the front set and then the back set separate. You can't just like buy the front set to match the back. You have to buy the front set, then go to the back set of tires and try to find it and match it up together, which is super annoying. And then to go on top of that, they don't have the mirror update out yet. So for one side of your vehicle, you make decals for it, and you have to try to match it up yourself. So I tried to do that with one of my vehicles, and it took at least an hour. And I think it's respectable to, have a cool looking car, and then people are like, oh, cool, that guy spent time, making that vinyl and put the decals on and all that. But in this game, most people I see on here just put like one huge decal, and none of it's like super detailed. I mean, there's some online that people put a lot of detail into them, but that had to take forever. Mine took about an hour to do. And I know this is more of a complaint than a review, but this game, it could have been so much better. I don't know what they were thinking. I know everyone was like, Underground, give us a new Underground. So they delivered with Underground, but it's missing too many things that could have happened. Like drag racing, that's a huge thing. I mean, the crew's almost doing everything that Need for Speed needed to do, minus, like the whole off-road stuff. But like they added drifting, huge open world, crazy amount of customization. I kind of feel like Need for Speed was like behind on this one. But yeah, this is basically the gist of the customization you can get in this game. Total, I would give this is probably still a 7 out of 10 like most reviews online at the moment. This isn't a very detailed review, but I'm trying to get it under 10 minutes, so sorry about that. And yeah, I'll show you a picture of the car that I did. But the story, you don't even need to follow because it's not important. I mean, if you want to get into the story, go for it. It's really not important, though. And it's got all the basics of a driving game, just the controls are pretty whack, and the tuning doesn't even help that much. There's people that have tuning builds online, but I've done some of those, and there's really not that much of a difference. Most of my drifting cars only have, like, the small dial to the left of it than anything else. So it's very irritating when they said you can do a lot of customization and tuning, but you can't really even do that. I'll show a small clip of the tuning, but it's nothing impressive at all, and it makes me so sad because I heard that Need for Speed Rivals was going to be the last one, so this is like their last ditch effort. And the only thing I can hope for is they have the Drive Club effect, as they had a pretty rocky start, but then they become a lot better, hopefully in a few months and not a whole year. But yeah, thanks for checking out my video. Check out the ones in the future. I already know that this review wasn't that great, but I tried to muscle this out before Black Ops comes out tonight, so I'm just buying my time. Anyways, this is Eyes of Apollo, and I'll see you guys later.